Letitia James roasted once again, loses to Trump on trying to stop the, I don't know how to say this, sexual experimentation on youth. How do you even say it? Welcome to Doug In Exile. This is where the Happy Patriots are. Shout out to the Quad Club. That's the people that watch 4 videos a day, keep the lights on around here. I'm a big fan of yours. I'll work for you guys all day, and I thank you guys for watching, because really, it'd be kind of lonely if you weren't here with me, okay? So here's the first article. Now, I have to do, this article has to come with a warning. It's good news that Letitia James is getting crushed, but I only have one source, and that's Nick Sorter. I have never caught him in a lie online or anything. One source. I looked all over Google, all through New York records. I looked everywhere for a backup on this, couldn't find it, but I'm still going to report it to you. Just had to give you that kind of disclosures just so that you know, I have one source on this. Nick Sorter says, huge news. A federal judge has blocked a 16 Democrat states' effort to force President Trump to release funding for diversity research. Now, this was 16 Democrat states, AGs, all came together to go against Trump. Now, I covered that. The only thing that I didn't hear was this reverse of this, that this was blocked. So good news. And I'll continue if I find more research on it and get some more backup on this. I like having multiple sources. I don't mind reporting one source, but I'm going to tell you that just so you know, it's not the strongest case I could make. Hundreds of millions have just been saved for taxpayers, and big Letitia James loses again. Okay, but wait, I have much more on Letitia James on the rest of this episode. But first, we're going to do a little bit more on the Democrat Party. Here's Stephen Smith saying, because remember I was saying earlier that Kamala Harris the one? He's not only tearing into her, the diversity hire, but he's also tearing into Jasmine Crockett, saying they've got nothing on the Democrat side.
I hope she makes a boatload of money with this book. I hope that she, does a tell-all and she breaks it down, and this nets her millions upon millions upon millions of dollars.
I've read some of her book, The 107 Days. It is one of the most illiterate pieces of, it is painful to read, unreadable and moronic. She's just going off on trivia. This is not a tell-all book. This is not going to be deep or interesting. I don't even know if she wrote it, because it's not Kamala Harris really terrible, like uncreative. This one has it's like fruity poetry, poetically written, terrible.
Because I hope y'all don't think for one second that she's got a chance to win in 2028.
Yeah, she doesn't.
She doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell.
No, she doesn't.
There is no way America will pick Kamala as the Democratic nominee for the presidency of the United States in 2028. It won't happen.
Well, but just because the Democrats don't pick her doesn't mean the Democrats won't manipulate things and steal it and just shove her into the seat. Democrats, you don't have to win those primaries anymore.
Then you see the kind of stuff that happened and how the skids were greased to position their preferred candidate.
So that's why she doesn't have to win.
For a nominee for the presidency of the United States. The American people didn't make that choice.
I got news for you, Stephen. You're in the wrong party, first of all. Go full MAGA, okay? Don't complain about this party that has nothing in common with the people. I'm tired of this guy. You're immoral. Go full MAGA. How about walk your values, Stephen? If the Democrat Party is so stupid to shove in Kamala Harris, like you just now said, and what are you going to do about it? You're going to vote for them again and reward them and say thank you. That's what I don't like about these guys. Yeah, complain about your party, but don't change parties, though now they're communist.
But we boarded hook, line, and sinker because we were told we didn't really have much of a choice.
Yeah, well, don't eat everything you're given. Never eat a plate that you're given by enemies. It's full of poison.
And it almost worked. Something to reflect upon and think about, because when we think about Kamala Harris, that's what we have to think about. This is not about insulting her, denigrating her in any way. It's about highlighting the facts of the situation that transpired while she was vice president running for the presidency of the United States of America.
That's a very fancy way to say that you're dumb. Because you know what? Kamala Harris is an empty suit who slept her way into anything. She never had any values or anything. So why did your party, vote for her? Because your party, the Democrat Party, you're going to vote for her again. You're going, what's wrong with the Democrat Party is just Kamala Harris. No, what's wrong with the Democrat? The whole thing is the Democrat Party, your party picked her, slid her in, and you're going to reward those people that lied to you about Kamala Harris. You're going to reward them again but you're going to vote for anyone they put in front of your thick, jock, dumb, empty-headed skull.
And when you go on The View and you're asked a question, a softball question by Sonny Hostin.
Yeah, what party is Sonny hosting in the softball party at The View? Who runs the entire View? What party?
Houston, would you have done anything differently than Joe Biden? I really can't think of anything.
And you voted for Joe Biden also. So she wouldn't do anything different than Joe Biden. You voted for him too. Who are they going to roll in there next? AOC? You go, yeah, guys, let's do AOC.
Lost the election right there. You're not overcoming that.
Will you vote
and
for
guess what?
Will you vote
An AOC, a Jasmine Crockett, a Bernie Sanders, they ain't going to overcome it either.
Oh, yeah, they're not going to overcome it. Especially not Bernie Sanders ain't going to overcome it. Look at this. Bernie Sanders was ripped apart by the House Committee on Congressional Ethics. Auditors found $44 million in a USAID grant to him from 2016 to promote democracy. There you go. That's a $44 million USAID fraud from the People's Republic of Bernie Sanders. It looks at Senator Sanders accepted a bribe. It looks like he accepted a bribe from Obama for what? Administration to drop out and endorse Hillary Clinton. Stephen A. Smith, this is what you'll vote for every time because Democrats know you're just that dumb. Even if you don't vote for them, it's okay. They'll just manipulate the votes and throw in whoever they want and pay off Bernie Sanders because they're all compromised. It came in the form of a grant he never had to apply for. That's the kind of a grant that I want. Who here wants about $10 million in a grant that you don't apply for? He didn't have to report how he spent it. Sanders wasn't at the hearing calling the allegations preposterous. Stephen, are you still in that party, you moron?
There has to be some new blood, and the Democratic Party is running out of time to find somebody.
Yeah, no, but you'll pick it even if it's not new blood. You'll vote for it.
I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, I'm telling you that right now.
But thank goodness we don't have to worry about Kamala Harris being perceived as the person that's going to do it because she wouldn't win. Go away from politics. Make your money. Be a voice for the voiceless. Go out there and speak. But running for office, no. Ain't nobody buying that.
Yeah, but you're going to buy. If they float in Gavin Newsom, you're going to go in and go, Gavin Newsom is the smartest, principled guy in the world. Now, on AOC, he goes, you fly in AOC? That ain't going to work either. Here's AOC, one of the girls that helped AOC get her start in campaigning, and now she grew up and goes, AOC is a fraud.
I was 25. I helped get AOC elected. I made a video for her campaign that went super viral. I met her a ton of times, and I was a huge AOC person. Now I'm 35, and like every stereotypical person, I've grown up, and I've learned that these feel-good politics of promising free food, free college, free apartments, like it feels so good when your frontal lobe is not fully developed and you're thinking more in black and white that this is going to be good, right? You're indoctrinated as a young person in America to believe that capitalism is bad and all your problems are because of these evil business owners. But I have to warn young people, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And we've seen time and time again in countries and cities that adopt these socialist programs is that the rich people who are going to pay for them are going to leave because of the high taxes. And then one example of this on a smaller scale is in New York in 2019, there was a law that was passed by the state house, all Democrats, to pause rent hikes on rent stabilized apartments. Landlords, because of this law, can only raise the rent by 2%. So say in 1970,
there's something like that in California too. I met a guy in San Diego where by law his landlord could only raise his rent by 2% a year. So that was a Democrat thing too.
Was paying $200 a month. You're now going to be paying $220 a month in 2025. But the problem is that rent stabilized apartment needs to be renovated and brought up to 2025 code. So because of this law, what's happened is now there are tens of thousands of empty apartments in New York that are rent stabilized that the landlords are not renovating because they know they cannot make their money back.
Yeah, it's going to cost them more to rent it out. This is backfiring Democrat policies. But this gal, the reason why I'm playing this, because this gal woke up and now she's smart, is to give all of us encouragement. If you have a daughter who's 25 years old and being stupid, that's what this girl was 10 years ago. And there's hope for your kids that when they grow up in another 10 years, this only took 10 years, and she's anti-AOC. She went from running her campaign, shooting videos on AOC's campaign. So for your kids and your grandkids, if they're woke, don't give up hope. They might still grow up and fully develop their frontal lobe or their moral character. Here's one from Politico back to Tish James. Tish James is all in on Mamandi. Mamdani. Now, Mamdani is this radical socialist in New York that even Cory Booker would not endorse because he knows he's a lunatic, anti-Jew. And look, here's Letitia James with Mamdani, and look at all these rainbow flags. I don't know what country this is, but it's I think it's the United States of gay. If they float this flag, Letitia James has embraced Zoran Mamdani, while other New York Democratic leaders are proceeding with caution. That is, other Democratic leaders are not psychotic, leftist, anti-Americans like Letitia James. So Letitia James is so radical, she's going where even other New York Democrats fear to tread. The state attorney general began boosting him in earnest just before the June 24th primary, most visibly at a Working Families Party rally, where she compared him to Barack Obama. That's how bad he is, on a stage packed with progressives and a massive "Don't Rank Cuomo" sign. There you go. Mamdani, we're going to keep an eye on him and find out which Democrat is crazy enough to support him. Here's one that's crazy enough to support him. Here's Elizabeth Warren.
When someone stands up and says, I will lead this city by making it more affordable, and here are my plans, real plans to deliver on childcare, plans to deliver on housing, plans to deliver. We're going to experiment. We're going to try things on groceries.
We're going to experiment. We're going to try things on groceries. I just want to keep that phrase in your mind. Horrifying coming from Elizabeth Warren. What are your experiments going to be on groceries? I didn't say it. She said it. Here, I'll go back again.
We're going to try things on groceries.
We're going to try things on groceries. What in the world are you talking about? What are you going to try on groceries?
Is the Democratic message.
That's the Democratic message. I'm just going to repeat it. We're going to try things on groceries. That's the Democratic message. There's Mamdani sitting there sitting there going, yeah, that's a good policy, Elizabeth. Okay, now wait, last one here is John Cornyn. Now, as you guys know, he's a rhino. I think he's trying to get good in Trump's graces because he doesn't have a chance if he doesn't. Cornyn takes swings at Letitia James, Adam Schiff with the new Letitia Act targeting crooked politicians. That's a new thing we're doing now. We're naming them after them. So this is named after Letitia James, the Letitia Act targeting crooked politicians. The Letitia Act would create mandatory minimum sentences for public officials who commit fraud. Look, there's fraud boy himself. That this applies to Adam Schiff and Letitia James. Senate Republican wants to crack down on public officials who use their position to grow their wealth. Senator John Cornyn, Republican of Texas, he's afraid of losing, being primaried in his seat, man, to introduce legislation that would create stiffer penalties for public officials who commit federal bank fraud, tax fraud, or loan or mortgage fraud. Letitia James and Adam Schiff. Remember, they both did the same thing with real estate fraud. Cornyn's bill comes on the heels of two such instances where top officials and lawmakers were hit with allegations of mortgage fraud. I support this. Letitia James is in hot water on at least three fronts. I think her supporting Mamdani might be the most disastrous thing in her career, given Cory Booker's going like, what are you guys doing? We can't support this guy. He's a lunatic. And finally, I hope that first article is true, that Letitia James cannot stop Trump. She and the 16 other AGs were not able to overreach their boundaries and stop the executive branch. Shout out to the Quad Club. My people that are watching this, thank you so much. I will see you again tomorrow. I love working for you. I will be ready to work for you some more. For more videos, say hi in the chat. Oftentimes we'll say hi back to you. I'm Doug in Exile. Subscribe.